Berkeley has their story tonight.
Well, Erica, at issue is the nickname the Rebels. Parkwood High School has used it for years. They dropped symbols thought to be offensive some time ago. But the leader of a civil rights group says it's time to finish the job. The name Rebels is associated with all of Parkwood's teams, and that's why some people associated with the school are crying foul.
We started earlier in the year to try to work with the site-based team and the school to try to get this changed, and it just didn't happen.
In fact, some people told us they've tried to ditch the Rebels nickname for years. Tonight, some of them gathered to build support for that change. They all agree officially the offensive symbols associated with the team are gone. But people in this room also remember how Rebels is associated with slavery, the Confederate Army, racism. They tell us those who don't want a new nickname say Rebels is just a name.
Well, if that's the case, change it. That way we won't have this meeting. We won't have the problems. Just change it.
But we found one student athlete who didn't seem to mind one way or the other.
Play football, run track, play basketball. I've just been playing the sport and I ain't worried about the name.
But for those who object, they hope the message on this rock is proven wrong. Of course, after hours, we were not able to reach school leaders at Parkwood High. They have the power to change the school nickname. The people who want to get rid of Rebels admit there was a poll indicating most of the student body doesn't want to change or doesn't care.
Slavery and our struggle and the fight that took place concerning our freedom.
At this meeting called by Union County's NAACP, people came calling for change.
I have some people that say, well, you know, it's just a name. It's just a mascot. Well, if that's the case, change it. That way we won't have this meeting.
Bianca Faulkner remembers students surveyed about the mascot when she attended Parkwood. But the minority population makes up only about 10% of the student body. So the vote was never in favor of getting rid of the Rebel.
It was a few amount of kids who wanted it to be changed. I feel like it still doesn't represent everyone, and I don't feel like that decision should be made by high school students.
Janice McGee is also an alum. Her husband is the school's first African-American basketball coach.
Back in the day, we wanted to change, but no, we didn't have a voice. So I'm proud to be standing here today to try to have a voice.
In Union County, you'll find a monument to Confederate soldiers in front of the courthouse. But you will also find a street named after the nation's most well-known civil rights leader. Some say that in a county that now touts itself as being one of the fastest growing and most diverse, it's a shame this battle is still being fought.
We've got to learn to live together and get past the past and quit putting salt in wounds. You know, it'll never be a great country.
I talked tonight with Lou Ann Ingram, the spokesperson for Union County Schools, and she tells me mascot decisions at new schools are made by leadership teams at those schools, but there's no process in place for how to change a mascot. Now, this is one that is certainly lighting a fire under a lot of people. We want to hear from you. Email your comments right now to news@wcnc.com.
People the wrong way in Union County. The NAACP calls the Parkwood High School Rebel, a Confederate soldier, offensive. Tonight, the group is urging the school to put a more politically correct character on the sidelines. WBTV's education reporter Dedrick Russell on your side following this controversy. Dedrick, what are school administrators telling you?
Well, Maureen, the school district says it does not control the design or names of the mascot. You know, that is up to the individual schools. That's why today neighbors will meet to try to figure out what they say is a better alternative for all races.
It is a form of intimidation and harassment.
Union County NAACP President Nathan Haley doesn't like Parkwood High School's mascot at all. He showed me a picture of it. It's a Confederate soldier carrying the Confederate flag. The president says parents are baffled about this.
They're wondering why at this time in our country that we would still honor this.
Haley and students say teenagers even wear pictures of the Confederate flag on shirts while at school.
The school being only about 11% black, we feel that they're intimidating students because we all know what the sign of the rebel and the rebel flag means.
We showed the mascot to Parkwood High School students. They didn't recognize it.
Never seen anything like that.
But they do know about calling themselves rebels. It's written on the school rock. I asked if they knew what the term rebel stood for.
Like, other people see it as like a racist term, but I see it as like a way against like normal rules.
It's a form of bullying.
Randy Carter says he graduated from the school back in the 80s. He recognized the mascot, but didn't think anything of it back in the day.
As far as I know, nothing racial. We never thought about it being that way.
So while the verdict is still out about this mascot, the NAACP is pushing to change it, and some students think maybe that may not be a bad idea.
I think it'd be a good change for the school. It would seem less racist.
Now the meeting takes place in about an hour at the Bazemore Center. The community will get a chance to speak out about the mascot, and it's the mascot that has represented the school for nearly 50 years. Now they will take their concerns to the superintendent and the school's principal. Live in the newsroom tonight, Dedrick Russell, WBTV, on your side.
All right, Dedrick, and of course you can speak out in our web poll. The mascot controversy is the topic of tonight's web poll. Should the high school mascot be changed or modified? Yes, a mascot should reflect the pride of an entire school, or no, mascots usually have historical significance and shouldn't be changed. Just go to WBTV.com. You'll find the poll. The NAACP calls the Parkwood High School rebel, a Confederate soldier, offensive. They want the school to pick a more politically correct symbol. WBTV's Steve Crump is just back from Union County with their reaction tonight, but some neighbors say leave the mascot alone, right, Steve?
Yeah, Molly, you talk about an issue such as this one, quite obviously it becomes very emotional, especially because of the longevity and the history associated with such an issue. And several dozen people came out to an NAACP meeting tonight to get support to change the mascot. What you're looking at is a symbol right now, not far from the school, but this is the actual symbol you see itself from the Parkwood Rebels. And anytime you start talking about the Confederate battle flag, there are the issues surrounding heritage seen by one group and hate being debated by another. Those issues were being talked about tonight.
Oh, man. Here we are at it again. 2009, almost 2010. We still fighting. Oh, some stupid myth about a rebel.
It's a Southern heritage, and I don't think that there's any racism to it.
Now, tonight's conversation, quite obviously, may very well be the first of many, and the first, obviously, that will not be emotional, simply because you can imagine, Molly, how drawn out this process is going to be. Starts off with the NAACP. They plan on taking their fight to the Union County Board of Education. Tonight, we're live in the newsroom. Steve Crump, WBTV, on your side at 10 on WJZY.
You could tell, Steve, just from the two men you interviewed, there's a lot of strong opinions out there. In fact, many people are speaking out right now about the mascot on our website, WBTV.com. We have a survey there. So far, 11% of people say the mascot should be changed. 84% say no, it should not be changed. Mascots have historical significance. If you'd like to take part in the poll, go to WBTV.com and look right there on the home.